there's a moment that sneaks up on you. It might be when you hesitate at the top of the stairs, or when you notice it takes both hands to push yourself up from the couch. Or maybe it's just waking up and realizing your body feels like it aged overnight. Most people chalk it up to getting old. They pop another pill, avoid that walk, stop doing the things that used to feel easy, and little by little, the world shrinks around them. But across the ocean, in small Japanese towns and crowded city parks, something quietly different is happening. Men and women in their 70s, 80s, even 90s are moving with surprising strength and calm. No fancy gyms, no supplements, just one forgotten habit, shared by schoolchildren and centenarians alike. And this habit, it's gentle, it's ancient, and it could give you back the strength, the balance, and the confidence that most people think is lost forever. So what is it? And how can you bring it into your life? Starting today, let me show you. It doesn't happen all at once. You don't just wake up one day and feel old. Instead, it comes in whispers. You start using your arms to push off a chair. You pause before stepping off a curb. You stop reaching for the high shelf because it's not worth the strain. And somewhere along the way, you realize you're moving through the world more cautiously, less confidently, like the body you once trusted is slowly slipping away. That's what aging feels like for most people. Not pain, not illness, but the quiet erosion of independence. And in the U.S. that erosion starts early. According to CDC data, the average healthy lifespan here ends at just 66. That means for most Americans, everything after that is managing decline. More appointments, more medications, fewer steps, fewer choices. But here's the thing, growing older doesn't have to feel like disappearing. Not everywhere. In Japan, more than 95,000 people are over the age of 100, and many of them still shop for groceries, garden, climb stairs, and take walks on their own. They don't just live long, they live well. And it's not because of better genes, or better hospitals, or magic supplements. It's because movement is woven into their daily rhythm, not as punishment, but as nourishment. Not as exercise, but as a way of being. What if you could reclaim that rhythm? What if, starting today, you could gently awaken the parts of your body that have been asleep? Not broken, just forgotten? Let's start there. Because once you feel that shift, even just a little, you'll know you're not too old. You're not past your prime. You've just been waiting for the right signal to begin again. And in Japan, that signal starts every morning with something called radio taiso. Every morning in Japan, just before 6:30 a.m., something beautiful happens. The sound of piano music drifts from radios, park speakers, and public intercoms. Soft, cheerful, familiar. It's not a commercial. It's not the news. It's Radio Taiso, a daily broadcast that's been part of Japanese life for nearly 100 years. And when that music plays, people of all ages, schoolchildren in uniforms, office workers in suits, retirees with sun hats, stand up, stretch, and begin a short series of gentle movements together. 15 minutes. No equipment, no ego, just breath, balance, and rhythm. It started in 1928, inspired by a similar program from the US as of all places. But while America's version faded, Japan's became a ritual. Even during war, economic collapse, and natural disasters, Radio Taiso never stopped. Because it wasn't just about exercise. It was about unity, about saying, we begin the day together. We move forward together. Today, nearly every Japanese school still starts with it. So do many companies, neighborhoods, and care homes. You'll see entire communities, 3 generations side by side, moving in harmony under the morning sky. And while it may look simple, the effects are profound. Studies from Kyoto and Tokyo University show that seniors who participate regularly have better balance, stronger grip strength, lower risk of depression, and longer independent lifespans than those who don't. Why? Because it trains the body the way life demands, gently, consistently, and with joyful attention. There's no pressure to go hard, just a gentle invitation to wake up from the inside out. This isn't a fitness trend. It's a cultural inheritance, a promise that aging can still feel like living, fully, freely, with grace. And the best part? You don't need to live in Japan to begin, because the 6 movements you're about to learn are rooted in the very same wisdom, refined over decades, backed by science, and accessible to anyone, starting right where you are. Of all the movements in Japan's morning routine, this one might look the most unusual and feel the most powerful. It's called shikodachi, or the sumo stance, and while it comes from a sport famous for thunderous clashes and 300-pound athletes, this position holds a quiet secret for aging bodies: stability. Not the kind you feel when standing still, but the kind you rely on when getting out of a chair, climbing stairs, or catching yourself before a fall. See, with age, most people lose strength in the muscles that don't get much attention. The deep hip rotators, the inner thighs, the glutes. These are what I call your independence muscles. They're not just for power, they're for freedom. When they weaken, movement becomes hesitant. Your base feels shaky. You start choosing safety over spontaneity, not because you want to, but because your body demands it. But Shikodachi changes that. Here's how it works. You stand with your feet wide, twice shoulder width apart. Turn your toes out slightly, then gently lower your hips. Not behind you, but straight down as if sitting between your legs. Your spine stays tall, your chest stays open, and you hold. At first it feels strange, maybe even humbling, but after 20 or 30 seconds, something shifts. You'll feel your thighs awaken, your hips open, your breath deepen, and more importantly, you'll feel your foundation return. In a 2021 study from Osaka Physical Therapy Institute, this stance was shown to activate more lower body muscles than traditional squats, but with less joint strain. It's especially effective for older adults with knee or back concerns because it strengthens without impact, restores range of motion, and helps undo years of tightness from sitting. Think of it this way. Every time you sit down and stand up without using your hands, you're using Shikodachi. Every time you step off a bus or rise from bed or hold yourself steady on an escalator, you're calling on the same muscle groups. So why not train them? Gently, purposefully, every day. Just 1 to 2 minutes a day. That's all it takes to rebuild the ground beneath your feet. And once your base is strong, it's time to move into the second layer of aging well, your balance. Strong legs will carry you, but balance keeps you upright. And balance isn't loud. It doesn't announce itself. It's the quiet flicker of a muscle firing just in time. The subtle shift that saves you from catching your foot on a rug or stumbling on uneven ground. Most people don't notice their balance until they lose it. But the Japanese have long trained it, gently, daily, starting with a posture inspired by nature's most elegant mover, the cat. Nekowashi dachi, or the cat stance, mimics the way a feline tests the ground before pouncing. Graceful, cautious, in control, and when practiced by humans, it does something remarkable. Here's how to do it. Stand with one foot slightly in front of the other. Let the ball of your front foot just kiss the ground, like a cat pawing softly. Your back foot carries most of your weight, about 70%, both knees gently bent, hips squared forward, spine tall. It's a subtle position. No sweat, no strain. But don't let that fool you. Beneath the surface, dozens of small stabilizing muscles are firing. Around your ankles, knees, hips, and deep within your core. Muscles that most people over 60 haven't fully activated in years. These are the catch muscles, the ones that respond when your body tilts, slips, or turns too fast. The ones that decide whether a stumble becomes a step or a fall. A study from the Japan Geriatric Society found that seniors who practiced Nekowashi dachi daily for just 4 weeks showed measurable improvements in single leg balance and ankle control, 2 key indicators of fall risk. Even Japanese physical therapists prescribe it as part of rehab protocols after injury, and for good reason. Because improving your balance isn't just about not falling. It's about moving through the world with less fear. It's about reclaiming confidence, one subtle shift at a time. So start with 30 seconds per leg. Use a wall or chair if needed. And as you get stronger, add slow arm movements or gentle weight shifts. You'll begin to feel something beautiful return. Trust in your own footing. And once that trust is there, you'll be ready to go deeper, down to the floor, and reset something that no chair or brace ever could. Your natural posture. Sometimes the most powerful movement is stillness. After building your strength and balance, it's time to return to the ground, not to collapse, but to realign, to remember how your body was meant to sit, to breathe, to simply be. In Japan, this practice is woven into the quiet moments of daily life. Tea ceremonies, family gatherings, meditation halls. It begins with Seiza, the art of proper sitting. You kneel on a soft surface, knees together, feet tucked gently underneath. Then lower your hips onto your heels, spine upright, shoulders soft. At first, it may feel unfamiliar. Our modern lives don't ask us to sit like this anymore. We lean back, we hunch, we fold into chairs that do all the work for us. But that comfort comes at a cost. Years of chair sitting shorten your hip flexors, deactivate your core, and tilt your pelvis forward, creating the slouched over posture we often associate with looking old. Seiza quietly undoes that. By gently stretching the front of your thighs and hips, it invites your spine to lift naturally without force. It reminds your body how to stack itself in alignment. And once that alignment is found, you're ready to go even deeper into Zazen. Zazen means seated meditation. It's practiced in Zen temples across Japan, not just for spiritual clarity, but for physical resilience. You sit cross-legged, elevated slightly on a cushion, hands resting in your lap, chin tucked, eyes soft, breath natural. From the outside, it looks like stillness, but inside, a quiet storm is settling. Zazen activates your transverse abdomen, your deepest core muscle, the one that wraps around your spine like a corset. It also lights up the tiny stabilizers along your back and stretches the hips and knees without force. But perhaps more importantly, it calms your nervous system. Studies from Kyoto University show that even short sessions of Zazen increase activity in the parasympathetic nervous system, the branch responsible for rest, digestion, and healing. In a world wired for stress, this posture tells your brain, you're safe now. You can let go. Start with 1 minute of Seiza, then ease into 5 to 10 minutes of Zazen. No goals, no judgment, just breath and awareness. Over time, these few quiet minutes reshape more than your posture. They reshape how you respond to life. And once your spine is tall, your breath is calm, and your core is quietly holding you upright, you're ready to rise again, this time with strength, not just from within, but radiating outward. And for that, we return to the stance of warriors. Not all strength moves forward. Some of the most important muscles you have are the ones that keep you from falling sideways. Side-to-side stability, what therapists call lateral strength, is one of the first things we lose with age, and one of the least trained. Because let's be honest, when was the last time you moved sideways on purpose? But life doesn't just happen in straight lines. You step off curbs, you reach across counters, you twist to grab something from the back seat. And if your lateral support isn't strong, those simple actions can lead to stumbles. Or worse, that's where Kibadachi comes in. Known as the horse stance, Kibadachi was once used by samurai and karate masters to build unshakable foundations for battle. But today it serves a gentler, yet no less powerful purpose, keeping you grounded in everyday life. Here's how to do it. Stand with your feet a little wider than shoulder width. Keep your feet parallel, facing straight ahead. Then slowly lower your hips, as if sitting into a wide, invisible chair. Spine tall, core engaged, shoulders relaxed. Hold this stance for 20 to 30 seconds. Breathe steadily, then rise and repeat. What's happening beneath the surface? Your adductors, inner thigh muscles, light up to keep your knees from collapsing inward. Your glutes and hip rotators stabilize your pelvis. Your deep core supports your spine from the bottom up. And perhaps most critically, your brain reactivates something called proprioception, your body's natural GPS, the sense of where you are in space. A 2022 study in the Journal of Functional Aging found that Kibadachi-style training improved joint alignment, balance, and sidestep reaction times in adults over 65. 3 markers directly tied to fall prevention. Think of this stance as your insurance policy. It doesn't just build muscle, it teaches your body how to stay upright when the world shifts sideways. And as you hold it longer each day, maybe 1 to 2 minutes, you'll feel a new kind of strength emerge, not just in your legs, but in your confidence. Because when your foundation is stable, you stop questioning every step. You start trusting your body again. And that trust, it's what makes the next movement so transformative. A movement where all the pieces come together. Strength, balance, posture, breath, in one silent, shaking, glorious hold. Some movements whisper. This one speaks clearly. It's called the wall squat, but many physical therapists call it the great revealer, because in just 2 minutes, it tells you everything about your legs, your core, your breath, your endurance, your mindset, and perhaps most importantly, about your readiness to stay independent. Here's how to do it. Stand with your back flat against a wall. Step your feet about 12 inches forward, shoulder width apart. Then slowly slide down until your knees are bent at a 90-degree angle, as if sitting on an invisible chair. Hold. That's it. No motion, no complexity. Just stay. At first, your thighs may tremble, your breath may quicken, and your brain may tell you to quit, but stay. Because here's what's happening. You're activating your slow-twitch muscle fibers, the ones responsible for endurance, posture, and long-term joint support. But the benefits go deeper than muscles. Studies from the Japanese Journal of Preventive Medicine show that wall squats increase capillarization, the growth of tiny blood vessels that improve circulation, especially to the legs. They've also been linked to maintaining bone density, a key factor in preventing osteoporosis. And here's a simple upgrade. Place a small ball or pillow between your knees. Gently squeeze while you hold. This activates your adductors, those inner thigh muscles that keep your knees aligned and your hips stable. Now, what makes this movement so powerful isn't just what it trains, it's what it reveals. If you can hold for 30 seconds today, and 1 month from now, you're holding for 2 minutes, that's not just progress. That's transformation. Quiet, measurable, undeniable. And every time you hold it longer, you prove something to yourself. You're not getting weaker. You're getting wiser about how you move. And now that you've rebuilt your base, awakened your balance, realigned your posture, calmed your breath, grounded your strength, and tested your capacity, it's time for the part that changes everything, the routine that makes it real. You've made it this far, and now you hold something powerful in your hands. Not just 6 movements, but a system, a way back to yourself. Because what you just learned isn't about pushing harder, lifting heavier, or chasing youth. It's about waking up your legs, your balance, your breath, waking up your brain, your posture, your confidence. And like everything in Japanese culture, from the way tea is poured to how streets are swept, it begins with small intentional steps. Kaizen, the quiet philosophy of continuous improvement. Not perfection, not pressure, just better than yesterday. So how do you make this stick? Not with a 60-minute workout, not with guilt or grand resolutions, but with 5 minutes. That's it. Morning. 2. 5 minutes total. 30 seconds of Seiza to realign your hips and spine. 1 minute of Zazen to breathe and center. 30 seconds per leg of Nekowashi Dachi to wake up your balance. Evening. 4 minutes total. 1 minute of Shiko Dachi to release tension from your hips. 1 minute of Kibadachi to ground your strength. 2 minutes of wall squat, your daily check-in. 7 minutes a day. No gym, no noise, no pressure. Just you, and your body, and a rhythm that builds strength gently every day. And if one day you miss it, that's okay. Start again. That's Kaizen. Because 5 quiet minutes, done consistently, can change how you walk through the next 20 years of your life. So begin today. Not for the six-pack, not for the mirror, but for the version of you that still wants to walk to the store, climb the stairs, dance in the kitchen, on your own terms. And if this video helped you take even one step in that direction, leave a comment below. Tell me your name, your age, and where you're watching from. I read everyone. And if you want the full printable guide of all 6 movements, I'll send it to a few of you as a small thank you. But more than that, I hope you carry this with you, because the body remembers, and with the right rhythm, it knows how to come alive again.